Hi, everyone. How are you doing? We've got a few minutes to wait because we've only got a few people that have signed in, and I know that there's more coming. So there are usually some stragglers. We'll give them a few minutes. I'm so glad, though, that you're going to join me for this class because even if you're used to doing yoga on a mat, you're going to like this. It's something you can always think about doing anytime, anywhere, that you have to spend time sitting down for long periods of time. So we have a few more checking in now. We've got Marcy. Hi, Marcy and Dottie. Good morning, Dottie. And Mike and Kate Sandoval. Oh, okay. Kathleen. It's Kathleen checking in and from California. You know, Kathleen, we do have a class on Friday at 1:30 on the East Coast time. So that would make it about 10:30 on your time. So make sure you remember about that on Fridays to join us. And Alyssa, hi Alyssa. Great to see that you're all coming in now. So Chris, who lives in Alexandria, Virginia, she told me that the daffodils and the crocuses are coming up. And I'm just still dreaming about that happening here up in the north. We've had some snow, but we are having now this week, we're supposed to get some mild days that are above 32 degrees, which is good because that means the snow will start to melt. And I think tomorrow it's even supposed to rain, which is weird because so much snow out there still, and then it's going to rain on top of it. It's going to be a real mess. But I'm dreaming of those daffodils and crocuses coming soon, very, very soon. Hi, Lee. Oh, good. Kathleen says she does try to do both classes, both on Tuesday and Friday. I'm glad. A lot of people do, and I'm very glad you're doing that because I would suggest the minimum amount of yoga you do a week is 2 classes. If you can squeeze some more in during the week by either watching videos or trying to remember what we do in class, fantastic. Now, this class we're going to do today is going to help that because this can be done no matter what. You can be sitting in an airport. When we get to that point where we can actually travel again, you have long waits in airports. You can do this in the airport. A little bit harder to do it in your seat on the airplane, but they could modify it a little bit. You can do this at work. If you have a job that's basically a sit-down job all day long, you can do this practice mid-morning or at lunchtime before you eat, just to give your body a good stretch. And Wynn is here from Winnipeg, and she says it's raining in Winnipeg. Wow. I think we're getting your rain tomorrow coming down this way. Dottie, you're laughing. Why are you laughing? Or you're laughing about it raining up north? Okay, now I've got a few of you here. I'm going to just go over a few of my announcements. The very most important announcement I have to give you is that on April the 7th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that makes it doable for both people in the West Coast as well as the East Coast. I'm creating a Zoom event. Now, if you're not familiar with Zoom, don't let that scare you. I will definitely, if you let me know, I have no idea how to use Zoom, I will send you some instructions. It's really a lot easier than you think it is. To use Zoom, it's a little bit harder when you're trying to create a Zoom event. That takes a little bit of effort, but to actually participate in a Zoom group class, it's no problem at all. Now, this event is not going to be a yoga class. It's going to be a tea and talk or tea and chat. I want everybody who participates to make sure they have their favorite warm beverage to drink, tea or coffee or whatever it is at that time of day that you like to imbibe in. For me, it might even be coffee. And if you're hungry at that time of day, make sure you have a little snack there so you can relax. And we're going to have basically a tea party where we can get to know each other. And I am looking forward to getting to know some of you, because there are people here who I see, they pop up and they say hi to me during each class. And I'd like to get to know your face that goes with that name. Now, I understand that you may not feel comfortable with that. And if that's the case, then that's okay. But if it's just a matter of you're not too sure about Zoom, or you think maybe everybody has already like emailed me and taken up all the spaces, I'm only allowing so many spaces. It's going to be somewhere around 20. I'm going to cut it off. If I have more than that, I will certainly think about breaking it up into 2 groups. But if it's because you're delaying because you think it's probably too late, it's not too late. There has been a few people that have already submitted and asked me to be on the list, and you are, if you have sent me an email. The way you have to do it, though, is you have to email me. Email me at northernzenyoga@gmail.com and say, yes, I want to be in on the Zoom call, or something to that effect, and I will put you on the list. So we'll get together, we'll have a chat. Now, it's going to be very short because I'm not yet paying for the Zoom, higher levels of Zoom to have the free Zoom. They cut you off at 40 minutes. So because I'm testing the water on this particular thing, I'm just going to leave it at that. We'll just have a little chat, a cup of tea together, say hi, get to see you and see your face, and you can chat with me, ask me a few questions. And if this is something that you enjoy, we can do it more often. And not only that, but I would like to bring some tutorial classes into that mix so that I can see what you're doing, and that will help me to help you. Anyway, moving on. So don't forget the main things that I always ask you to do every time you come on to the class, and that is to subscribe if you haven't. Make sure you press that subscribe button. It will give you notifications of everything, every time a new class is uploaded, every time a video is uploaded. The other thing I'd like you to do is, if you haven't already, go to my Facebook page and say you like it. When you say you like it, you can also become part of our community page, which is for everyone to contribute to, not just to me. So don't feel afraid. If you're on the community page and you have something you want to share with everybody else, some article you've discovered, something that is going on in your life that you want to share with us, that's where you go. So Facebook, Northern Zen Yoga on Facebook, and then there's the community channel you can join afterwards. And also follow me on Instagram. I make posts to Instagram all the time. Usually they are connected with the Facebook page, but if you follow only Instagram and not Facebook, then make sure you are following me, Northern Zen Yoga, on Instagram. The other thing I've been talking about is going on to Twitter. Well, so far from all the responses I've got, is Twitter is a no-go. We're not going to be tweeting. And you know what? That's great, because it's one less thing I have to worry about making happen. I'm just going to say if I can say hello to anybody else that's checked in. Oh, Dottie was laughing at chair yoga at the airport. Hey, I've seen people do a lot funnier looking things at the airport. And Erla, greetings from Alabama. That's a name I haven't seen before. Is this your first time, Erla, to come and do a class with us? Joyce, hi Joyce. Joyce is, just let me know that she's going to jump in a little bit later. She's got a serviceman there. You got to take that when that happens, because if you send them away, they never come back. And Susan from Houston. Hi, Susan. Okay. And Erla, if you haven't seen it, Dottie just said hey. And hi, Patricia. Patricia's here from Spain. And Patricia, I'm looking forward to this weekend. This weekend, I'm going to be on a Zoom call with Patricia and her ladies in Spain, and we're going to be participating in a meditation. Thank you very much for inviting me to that. That's fantastic. And Sandy is here from Duluth. Okay, I think we're ready to start. What time is it? Yes, we should get going. So the main thing you have to think about when you're going to be doing chair yoga is that you want to have a chair that doesn't have arms on it. The reason for that is that when you want to be moving your arms up and down, you don't want to be hitting the arms of the chair. If that's the only thing you've got, well, I'll show you how you can modify the arm movements, but you're not getting the full range that way. So just make sure that if you have the option to, that you use an armless chair to do your yoga practice. I also recommend that you put a blanket, or if your chair doesn't already have a cushion on the bum part, that you put something, just a folded up blanket, just something to make the surface just a little bit less rigid, because you are going to be in a seated position for a while. So make sure you take care of those sits bones. They're going to get tired of sitting and pressing into a hard wooden chair or metal chair after a while. The other thing, I did put this at the top of the feed in case you didn't read it. You should have your block handy, or your substitute for your block if you don't have a block. Hardcover book, especially in this case, is going to be just fine. So first thing I want to show you is what to do if you're down on the floor and you can't get up. And you do have a chair someplace that you can move across to and get to. This is going to be a lifesaver for some of you when you have maybe had a situation where you had got down and you didn't realize you couldn't get back up again, or you've tripped and fallen down and you need to get back up again. So the main thing you need to remember is that don't be like me when I had this happen and panic. Instead, think. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to get onto your knees, and you probably did this automatically in order to try to hoist yourself up. So we're going to come to the chair. So whether you had to crawl over to the chair or whether you wiggled your bum over to the chair, however you got to this spot where you're on the chair, you're going to have to get onto your knees for a moment. Then you're going to take one leg and you're going to help that leg. If this is a situation where you really are having difficulty, you're going to help that leg. You're going to bring that leg up and plant it down beside the chair. You're going to make sure this chair is stable, that you're not going to be falling over and the chair is going to come with you. You're going to put your elbows down onto the chair. And then you're going to push into the chair with your forearms and your elbows. And you're going to lift your bum up as high as you can and bring your other leg to the front. Using the chair, you're going to come back up to an upright position. So, very simple. You can watch this on the rewind once it's up onto the video if you need to see this again. This is just for people who have fallen and can't get back up again. Okay, so we're going to sit into our chair. And the important thing to remember here is that you have to be able to plant your feet onto the ground. Now, sometimes the situation with the chair is that the seat is quite big. It extends out a little further. And if you're especially a little shorty like me, some chairs are a little bit higher. This one is perfect. This one is a very old antique chair. So it's made for people when they weren't so big. Now, chairs seem to be a little bit higher. You can use your block. If the block feels too high, you can use a hard-covered book that is about half the thickness of the block. So the main thing I want to bring to you here is you should be able to comfortably put your feet down onto the floor. So no dangling. You need to be able to put your feet down on the floor. You're going to have your knees in a position where it is in line with your hips. So you don't have your feet tight together and you don't have your feet wide apart, at least not yet. We will do some of this, but it's going to be later on. So to begin with, though, we want our feet flat on the floor. We want our hips and our knees in line with each other. And one thing you need to be careful of is that you're not reclining back and leaning into the back of the seat. You need to be away from the back of the seat. So sitting up straight so that your back is not making contact with the seat. Once you go and lean back into the seat, you create a pelvic tilt, which is not good for your spine for the long-term position. Instead, sit more upright, tighten up your tummy muscles if you need a little more support to hold you upright. And we're going to sit just like we do in every class at the beginning. We're going to sit for a moment and just breathe. So close your eyes. Let your shoulders relax down. Take a few breaths, just in and out. Try to release the tension in your body. Feel where your palms are touching your thighs. Feel where your bottom is making contact with your chair. And let's bring ourselves back to our breath. Let's take a deep inhale into our belly. And slowly exhale, pushing your belly back in. Inhale, push the belly out. Exhale, push it back in. Go back, check to your shoulders. Make sure you're not starting to tighten up anything. Relax your body as you breathe. And as you sit here, think of an intention for your day. What do you want to bring to yourself today? Do you want to have a peaceful day, a loving day, a relaxing day? Do you want to get things done day? The energy to do all the things you need to do. Breathe into that intention. And let your eyes float open. And while we're in the chair, we're going to practice a breathing technique, which you might find a little bit difficult at first, but it's very good for your abdominal wall and for your diaphragm. So what we're going to do is we're going to lean into our legs. Just leaning forward slightly. We're going to take a deep inhale. Inhale, push your belly out. On your exhale, you're going to focus on pulling your navel right up under your rib cage and push all your air out. Pull, pull, pull. Keep pushing, pushing. Keep breathing out, breathing out, breathing out. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Pull your belly button up. Inhale. Exhale one more time, pushing all the air out. Really pull up, pull up, pull up. Keep pushing air out. Keep pushing, exhaling, 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 and release completely. You can do this standing. You can do this sitting. It's just a way of getting a little bit of exercise into your diaphragm here to help with that motion. This muscle here is what helps us to breathe. It opens and closes, pushes out, pushes in. And we work that, getting it stronger. And then we also start to work these upper abdominals that help to keep us sitting up straight. Come back into a nice relaxed position again. Let your shoulders relax down. Let your arms dangle down now. And on the inhale, let's raise our arms up. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. Nice and slow. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up, and let's look up. Exhale down. And just like before, if you can't raise your arms all the way up to touch, raise them up as high as you can today. Inhale up. So it only is to here. That's where it is. It's only to here. Exhale down. We're not here to hurt ourselves today. We're only here to breathe and stretch. Inhale up. Exhale down. Drop your chin to your chest. And start to reach for the floor. To stretch out the arms just a little bit. Trying to reach for the floor. Dropping your chin down into your chest till you feel a tug at the back of your neck where your head is tipping forward. Just go to that place where you feel the stretch. Reach, reach, reach. Turn your palms forward. Let's press the shoulder blades together, pushing the arms back. Keep tucking your chin. Come back forward again. Inhale the arms up. And this time we're going to do the side bends. So one arm drops down, the other one reaches just over your head. And if you can't lift your arm up that high, you're going to rest your hand on your shoulder and just lift the elbow up as high as you can to get the rib cage up. And that's what we're trying to stretch up here is the rib cage. Reach for the floor on the other side. At any time we're doing this, you feel unstable, grab the seat of the chair or grab the back of the chair. If you think you might fall over, push your feet into the floor. Push your bottom into the seat. Inhale, coming back up again. Exhale, let's go over to the other side. You can reach for the floor, or you can grab the seat of your chair if you're feeling unstable. Press your feet down, press your bum down. Very important to make sure you're not lifting up your cheeks of your bum to do this. Coming back down again, inhale up. Exhale, let's go one more time on each side. Nice stretch here. Inhale up. Exhale over to the other side. Inhale back up again. And this time on the exhale, we're going to do the twist. So we're gently going to reach for the back of the chair with one arm and our leg with the other. So we're just moving the shoulder blades. We're trying not to twist at the hips. We'll let the hips move slightly, but not let them completely follow. We want to keep both of those sits bones sitting on the chair. And we're just pushing the shoulder back. However far you can grab here. If you can grab the other side of the chair, if you've got a nice flexible upper spine, you can do that. But we're not going too deep here. We're just going to feel the stretch. And you can look over toward that shoulder if your neck allows. If you have tightness in your neck and you can only go this far, then that's as far as you go. You can feel it, you're doing it. Inhale up as we come back to center. So you can see this is very much like when we're working on the mat. And let's come into the twist on this side too. So again, if you have a really high back chair, you can't get your hand back there, just grab what you can grab on the side. And we'll look over that shoulder. And don't forget to breathe. As we stay here, breathe. And let's come back to center. Inhale the arms up. Now this is what it gets a little bit different. On the exhale, we're going to reach down underneath our thigh. And we're going to inhale, lift up this leg as high as you can toward your chest. Exhale it down. So you're helping to do that. So inhale the arms up. Exhale. Let's go to the other leg. Reach underneath your thigh. Lift up the leg toward the chest. And exhale. Help it down. Inhale up. Exhale. Let's reach down toward the thigh again. Grab your fingers together or grab the leg and lift up toward your chest and drop it down. Inhale up. Exhale to the other side. Inhale up again. Make sure your legs are a little bit wider apart now, so you have the space in between. Inhale up. Exhale. Forward fold. So, placing our hands here for support. Letting our belly come down. We also have our block. We can put our block here to grab. And we're going to press the belly down toward the floor between the legs. Now, whether you are needing to do yoga in a chair or whether you're a very accomplished yogi, sitting in an airport is where you're going to want to use this one. You're going to come between your legs. You have your suitcase. You can put your suitcase here, your little carry-on, and you're going to let your belly get heavy. You're going to try not to lift your bum up off the chair and just drop yourself down between the legs. Reach for the floor if you can, or however deep you can get. Take a few breaths here, inhaling and exhaling. Coming back up, use your thighs. Push into the thighs, lifting up your torso again. Let's do that one more time. Inhale up, exhale. Coming down, if you can't come in too deep, just put your hands here and let yourself lower down just a little bit. Keep those feet pressing into the floor. If you can come down deeper and you've got your block handy, you can use your block to drop your chest and your belly down. And then if you're able to, reach for the floor. Coming back up again. Pressing into the thighs to push you back up. So even if you only came down to here, make sure you're using your hands on your thighs to do the work to push you up again. Now, of course, this is if you need to be using a chair to do your yoga. If you are able to do some things, if you have some core strength, just to add the challenge here, when you are down here, you can then reach up, push into your feet, tighten up your muscles in your legs and your abdomen, and we use the core muscles to do the work. When you're using your core muscles, you must tighten them up. You must engage them. So when people injure themselves bending over and doing things, and then even in lifting with a slight bend in the knees, what they often forget to do is to tighten up the abdominal muscles, to engage the muscles, to make them come into that tensed, strong position to support the body. So that's very important. Okay, so now that we're stretched out that way, we're going to come up one more time and we're going to stretch the back just like we do in the seated position on our mat. So we're going to reach behind. We're going to grab the sides of our chair. We're going to inhale, lifting up our rib cage, pulling the shoulder blades and the elbows in toward the chair. Inhale and lift up your chin, and as you exhale, let it relax back your head. Nice stretch here. Again, if you can't relax your head back that far, if you can only lift your chin to here and you start to feel your neck stretch, that's where you stop. We're going to really lift those rib cage up here, your breasts up, pull your shoulder blades in, your elbows in toward the sides of the chair. Take a deep breath in again. Exhale. One more inhale. And on the exhale, we're going to relax, coming back down again. We're going to now do some stretches in the seat. So we're going to be looking a lot like we do on the mat with a few exceptions. So the first thing, of course, we're not sitting on a mat and our leg is extended, but it's not extended out in front of us flat. It's extended out to the side. So come just a little bit forward onto your seat just to make sure that you are nice and solid here, but be sure when you pull yourself forward a little bit that your chair is not so unstable that it's going to flip on you. We're going to inhale, stretching up, exhale, coming down. Now this is where you can grab the thighs, don't press into your knee. If you need to, you can grab your calf. And if you have your block, you can use your block here instead to press into. Putting it beside your calf, pressing your palm into it. You can also have the other hand here. Take a deep breath in again, exhale, and remember we're pushing our belly into our leg. Our toes are up, our heel is on the floor. You want to feel the stretch in the back of your leg, in your hamstrings. Take another deep breath here. Inhale, slowly come back up again. And we're going to switch to the other side. So bring this leg in, stretch that leg out, bring your block beside you. Take a nice inhale. On your exhale, coming down, bringing our belly and our chest down toward our leg. See, I'm not trying to get my head anywhere. Stabilizing myself. Just breathing into that stretch, taking a few breaths. And slowly come back up. Now, if you can't go as deep as I did, even, then don't worry about it. As long as you feel the back of your leg engaged in a stretch, you're fine. We're going to come to bringing our knees together. We're going to place the block not between the knees, but between the thighs. So make sure that you're not here using your knees to press in, but you're using the muscles in your legs to press in. We're going to just work on bringing the strengthening the muscles that contract the thighs together. So you want to be able to squeeze it. Feet are flat, sitting nice and straight, upright, and take a deep inhale. On your exhale, squeeze. Just squeeze that block. Tighten up your glutes, tighten up your core, squeeze, and relax. Inhale. On the exhale, squeeze. Relax. Inhale. On the exhale, squeeze. And relax. So you might even begin to feel that just after you stop, you can feel that you strengthen up a little bit in here. So even though you're sitting in a chair, you can still work on your warrior postures. First, we're going to do cat-cow, and then we're going to go into the warrior postures with the chair. So cat-cow, same idea applies. We're going to inhale, reach back. Exhale, crunch forward. Inhale, reach back, grab the back of your chair. Making that sway in your back. Exhale, crunch forward. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Knees are together. We're going to come into the child pose. So we're going to come down. We're going to just grab underneath our legs. Place your fingers together, bringing your chest down toward your thighs. If getting down that low is not possible for you, you're going to just place your hands here and you're just going to lower your belly down toward your legs till your body tells you you need to stop. If you're able to do this by laying onto your thighs, reach underneath and hug your thighs into your chest. Come back up again. And we're going to come into warrior one. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with our right leg. We're going to just shift it over. So we're sitting a little bit sideways on the mat, on the chair. And this leg is going to be brought just behind, and the knee is going to come down toward the floor. So you're sitting on your chair in a way that one cheek is definitely planted down onto the seat. The other one is closer to the edge. So probably should put a white thing here so you can see me better. But so this cheek is still on my chair, but my leg is in a position where I can bring my leg over the edge and drop my knee toward the floor. So I'm going to bring my foot back as far as I can. If you're able to, you can come right back onto your toe. In this particular case, in chair, it's very difficult to get your foot flat and stay seated on the chair. So for this purpose, we're just going to bring our foot back onto our toe as far as we can. If you can only bring it back this far, that's as far as you can go. You can bring it back a lot farther. So it's actually looking a little bit more like a lunge. but that's okay. Our hips are still forward. So we want to make sure that we're not torquing ourselves here, that we've actually taken this knee and dropped it toward the floor. You can balance on your big toe here in the back so that our hips are facing forward. We're going to inhale our arms up as high as we can toward the ceiling. If you really have difficulty, you can put your hands on your shoulder and work on lifting up the shoulders the elbows toward the ceiling. Otherwise, we're lifting the hands up toward the ceiling as high as you can go without crunching our shoulders to our ears. No crunching up, we're just lifting up the arm. So your elbow might be a little bent, who cares? Reaching up, reaching through our fingers, and here we are, warrior one. Inhale, stretch up, exhale. We're going to come down. So here you can drop this hand down. You can grab the chair. You can grab behind the chair if it's low enough. And you're going to bring your chest down and you're going to bring this arm back as high as you can raise it up. Inhale, come back up again. Exhale, coming back down. So I'm just going to shift the chair so you can see my position in a different angle. This foot is forward. Just the same principle applies as standing. My knee is still in line with my ankle. My leg is now too far this way, or it's not too tucked in this way. This leg is back as far as I can stretch it, and my knee is dropped toward the floor. We're going to inhale up. Exhale. I'm coming down. So if I feel unstable, I'm going to grab the back of my chair. If I'm able to, I can grab the seat of my chair, and I'm going to bring my chest down toward my leg, and I'm going to bring this hand back and reach up toward the ceiling. Try not to lift your bum off the chair to do this. Try to keep down onto the chair as much as you can. So sacrifice how high you lift your hand for stability on the chair. Inhale, come back up again. Exhale into prayer pose. All right, let's do the other side. I'll start out this way, face forward. So now we have the opposite leg forward. So whatever leg you had forward before, whether it's your left or your right, you're going to go to the opposite side. We're lining up our heel and our knee together. I should be able to glance down and see my toes without leaning too far forward. Knee is dropped to the floor. You can balance on your toe in the back. And we're going to inhale, reach up, warrior one. Now, for most of you, you're going to feel that in this thigh, even though we're not pressing our heel to the floor, you're going to feel the stretch in the front of the thigh. Exhale down. Inhale up again. And this time on the exhale, we're going to forward fold. So grab your chair if you have to. Grab the seat if that's better. Grab behind here. You can come down, even have a block here if you want to practice getting down a little lower. And we're going to come down and we're going to try to reach up with the opposite hand into humble warrior. Inhale, coming back up again. Exhale, namaste. I'm going to turn the chair so you can see me in the other direction. You're going to do it one more time. My foot is forward, my knee and my ankle are in line with each other. This leg is back, hips are forward. This is important. Inhale, stretching up. Exhale, coming down into the forward fold. Grab your chair. And reaching back up again, behind you. If you can do that. If you can't, just put your arm behind your back and just work on bringing the chest down. Coming upright again. Make sure you're tightening up these muscles whenever you're lifting your torso up. Tighten up your tummy muscles. And we're going to come into our seated Tadasana. Feet are close together, hip width apart, knees lined up, hands on your lap, shoulder blades coming back, chin level to the floor. And if you want, you can go into the hand gesture of dropping the hands, spreading the fingers, palms forward, Tadasana. And most importantly, smile. So let's come into Warrior Two. Warrior Two, very similar, except for in this case, we're letting our hips come over to the side. So the hips are facing slightly on an angle. No more, once upon a time we taught, force those hips open so that both hip bones are facing the camera. Not anymore. We don't do that anymore. That's terrible injury to our back. The only thing we're going to think about this time is bringing this leg back as far as we can and trying to bring it back behind the chair. So now we're in a position where we can extend our arms comfortably. So our hips are slight angle, but they're sideways. Our arms are reaching back to front, and we're looking out over the middle finger. If this arm extended out really bugs you, if it's one of those things like today for me, that shoulder is really bothering me. So what I would do if I was doing my practice is if it was feeling painful, I would tuck it behind me and just work on pushing the actual shoulder back. So I'm doing the same thing, but without putting too much stress on the chest and the shoulder joint. And breathe. Don't forget, very important, breathe. So you want to be feeling a stretch here in this position. So you see where my legs are? Before we were here, now we're here. Warrior Two. Release your hands down. And let's try the other side. Flipping around, see my toes when I glance down from an upright position. Make sure that way I know my knee is not going to be hyperextended. And this time I'm reaching back as far as I can with this leg so that my hips are coming toward the front. And then I'm going to stretch my arms out, looking out over my middle finger with great focus and concentration. And release. So today we're going to practice one that you probably, of the Warrior series, that you probably would never practice otherwise, and that's Warrior 3. But with a chair, you can do it. So we're going to come standing up, and we're going to take our chair, and I'm going to turn mine sideways. You don't have to, you just have to stand in front of your chair. We're going to step back, and we're going to drop our hands down till we feel like we're pretty well balanced. You want to feel very balanced here. If dropping down to the seat of the chair is even an issue for you, you can add your block here, or if you have two blocks here, so that you don't have to bend over quite as far. But for most of us, we should be able to bend over and be able to flatten our hands down onto the chair. So here we're going to take one foot, plant it down nice and strong. Really plant that foot down. Lift up your toes, push your heel down, push the ball of your foot down, then drop your toes and push it into the floor. The other one, we're going to bend the knee and we're going to push the heel back toward the wall behind us. Now we are in Warrior 3. Your toes should be pointed toward the floor. Your heel should be pushing back, and this leg should be fairly strong, pushing down into the floor, and you're using the chair for your balance. If you want, you can try to let go of the chair. See if you can balance out here. If that doesn't work, don't worry about it. Just work on it. Okay, let's switch feet. Press the other opposite foot down into the floor. I'm just going to move this up so I can stretch my leg out better. And then we bend the knee on the leg we're going to lift. Push the heel back. See if we can find some balance here. No, too much. And if you find you're not balancing, see if you scoot your foot forward just a little closer to the chair, if that helps. But sometimes one side of our body doesn't balance as well as the other side. And we'll come back down again. So that was warrior 3. Come back into Tadasana, seated Tadasana. Breathe. We'll do a few more stretches before we finish up. So first stretch we're going to do is the half butterfly. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to bring one knee out to the side and bring the heel in toward the chair and stretch the other leg out in front of you. This time you're going to try to keep your toes onto the floor. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Again, if you have blocks, where'd mine go? You can use your blocks for your stability here, or you can push into the chair seat, or you can push into your thigh muscle. Keeping your toes touching down, coming down, bringing your chest and your tummy toward your thigh. Inhale, pushing into the thigh to push you up if you need assistance, tightening up your abdomen as you come up. And let's come down again. Inhale, back up again. One more time, inhale, exhale down. Coming back up again. And we're going to switch sides. This heel is tucked in close to the chair. This foot is extended out right in front. Toes are pressing into the mat. We've got our block here for support if we need it. Inhale, exhale. Bring your belly and your chest down. Keep pushing your toe, your big toe, into the floor. Inhale, coming up. Exhale. Let's come down again. Inhale up. And one more time, exhaling as we come down. Inhale up. Both feet together this time. You can have 2 blocks here if you like, if you have them available to you. Or you can grab the back of your chair for this one. But grabbing the back of the chair and pulling on it with too much force, you might lift the chair up off the floor. It depends how heavy your chair is. You probably are a little bit better off trying to just hang on to the seat of the chair and push your belly down. So we're going to take the inhale. Our feet are flat on the floor. Our legs are extended, but just a little bit of a bend in them. Coming down, we're bringing our tummy and our chest down toward our legs. Try to keep your bottom touching. If you start to push yourself to the point where you're lifting up your bum, don't do that. Instead, push your bum back down into the chair. Put a little bit of force there as you lower your weight down. Inhale, come back up again. Exhale, let's go back down. Now, if you have blocks on either side, you can press your palms into the blocks for stability. Inhale back up again. And if you feel fairly comfortable and balanced, put your hands behind your back. You can grab your forearms, and we're just going to drop our chest down and our belly, and tightening up our core as we inhale, coming back up again. Okay, so now you're ready to come into your final resting position, which is Shavasana. Now, normally before Shavasana, I like to put people into a little bit of a spinal twist to relax them again. So let's do that, but we're going to do it in a little bit of a different way. So this time, come up onto your toes. You're going to let your knees drop over to one side. So you can even put your hand on your thigh and just keep them there in case they want to wander. And then the other thing you're going to do is you're going to reach behind and you're going to grab the back of your chair and you're just going to look toward that direction. So let's take a deep breath in here, in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. One more time. Nice big deep breath in through the nose, into your belly, and let it go through your mouth. Back to center. We're going to switch, tipping the knees over to this side now, grabbing behind the chair. And we're going to just gently bring our chin toward that direction, pressing into our thighs so that our legs don't wander away. Coming into a nice little twist. Inhale and let it go through the mouth. Inhale again. Exhale. Inhale again. And exhale. Let's come back to center. So now you're going to come into your Shavasana. So what I recommend is if you want to grab that blanket now and you want to put it over you so that you keep warm. I'm just going to put this one here for a second. And you can let the blanket cover you up completely. You want to be very comfortable though. So maybe a second blanket would be better because then your cushion would be gone if you're using this for a cushion. And we're going to come into Shavasana, just like we do lying down. We're going to let our legs be apart and relaxed, feet pointed outward. We're going to let our arms relax down. They can relax into your lap. They can be hanging down to the sides. But I think on the lap might be a little more comfortable. You won't start to get any achy pulley sensation from gravity. And you're going to just lean back into your chair and let your chin drop. And with each breath you take, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, just let that relaxation response become deeper. The muscles in your body relax, let your jaw relax. Close your eyes and just let your eyes relax. Think of a place in your mind where you always feel peaceful. And just send your thoughts there. Pushing away all those annoying thoughts of what you could be doing right now or should be doing. Instead, focus on your breath. I breathe in. I breathe out. I breathe in. I breathe out. Each breath taking you into a deeper state of relaxation. If those annoying thoughts start to come in too frequently, just push them away with your word that you had for today, peace, calm, energy. Breathe deeply. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes, gently waking your body back up again. And give yourself a stretch. Stretch those arms over your head. Gently waking up your body. Your eyes float open. Joining me back either on your chair or on your mat, whichever way you want to close this class today. Let's bring our palms together. And let's chant a beautiful Om. Taking a breath in first and a breath out, and then inhaling for Om. So let's inhale. Exhale. Inhale for Om. Om. Rub your hands together. Feeling the energy you have inside you, your prana, your chi. As you do this, think of the places inside you that need some healing energy. It could be your hips, it could be your back, it could be your legs, it could be your mind. It just needs some healing energy. Place your palms over your closed eyes, and as you breathe in, open them. Send that energy right into the spot you need it to go. On the exhale, bring your palms toward the ceiling, sending the energy back out to the universe, scooping up just a little piece, taking it back to heart center. Namaste. Namaste, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that chair yoga. I'm going to be repeating this class on Friday, just so that people who join us on Friday get a taste of chair yoga as well. And obviously, it is going to be loaded up to YouTube, so that if you enjoy chair yoga, you'll be able to repeat the yoga class anytime that you want to. In the meantime, I'd love for you to send me a question or two. I'm having my tea, so I'm here until you guys are all gone. So if you've got questions, please ask. Oh, hi, Fran. Okay, Fran came in late. She's feeling sad because that happened. But Fran, if you can watch on Friday, I'm doing the same yoga class more or less on Friday with the chair. So you'll get a chance to see the whole thing then and participate. So if you have questions, please ask them now. If you're thinking you'd like to be part of the Zoom class, even if you tell me on here that you'd like to be part of it, if you haven't emailed me, you need to send me an email so that I can send you the link. That's the reason for the email. The email is so that I can send you the link to the Zoom connection so that you can connect in right away once it's time. As always, I always have my tea here because tea is something that really goes well with yoga. And besides that, we need to have fluid. We need to be able to drink whenever we're feeling thirsty. So in yoga class, even if you are feeling thirsty and I haven't stopped, I'm doing something, you take the time to have a sip of your water or your tea or whatever you've got there, because it's important. When your body gives you the signal, you need to answer it. Well, I'm not seeing any questions coming up. I'm sure nobody's got a question or two that they have burning in their mind about anything. As everybody watched the uploaded videos of how to do the warrior poses, I'll probably this week be working on Warrior 3 to show you how to do Warrior 3 with and without support. So keep your eye out for that. But if you're ever not sure about where to place your feet when it comes to Warrior on the mat, you should watch those videos. They will help you to be able to take all the mystery out of where the feet are supposed to go and how you're supposed to feel in these particular postures. I personally have been watching a very important series on the back, and it's an educational one for yoga instructors. And I'm so happy to see that they are starting to send out more education for the yoga instructors to help them understand how to modify some of the postures that we have been taught as instructors and have been teaching that have been injuring our SI joint in our low back and our pelvis. It's where the sacrum and the iliac bone join together. It's a little hinge joint in there. Your sacrum is here, and this joint is here. That's your pelvic girdle here on either side. And there's a little bit of flexibility, and there's a lot of tendons and muscles around there to support that area so that we don't fall down and we can run and we can walk. And if we are not taking care of that, it can be injured very badly, and it is a very painful area to be injured. Okay, that's a really good question. Okay, I've been asked by all I see is Lacan. So whoever Lacan, which your real name is, she says, well, thank you for showing me how to get up with a chair, but what do I do if I can't find a chair? Okay, I will show you how to get up off the floor without your chair. So you're going to have to understand that there are going to be things that are going to be difficult even at this point. If you are having a difficulty getting up off the floor, it's going to be a very hard process to get up without support of a chair. But one day it might happen. So be patient with yourself if you're stuck in this particular situation. So if you're down on the floor, you have to get up onto your knees. That's just a given. And if your knees are really tight and sore, it's worth the pain you're going to go through to get onto your knees for the few seconds. Put your hands firmly down on the floor and then help one leg up so that you are stable. Now you've got 3 things to push up with. You're going to tuck your toe underneath, and you're going to push with one hand into the floor. The other hand is going to be stabilizing your leg, and you're going to try to bring that foot forward. So you're in this deep squat. Push into your thighs and push yourself upright. So I know this is not easy, and I make it maybe look a little bit too easy. And if you try it, it's probably going to be very hard. But my recommendation to you is that unless you're out into a vast void, someplace there's going to be at least a wall. You can also use the wall to help pull you up from the floor by putting your hands onto the wall and get the feet underneath you and push up. You have to be able to get your feet underneath you. At least one foot onto the floor with your hands, and then using both that foot and one hand, and the other hand is more of a stabilizer to find a little bit of balance if you're feeling off balance, and pushing into the floor with your foot, your big muscles in your leg and your hand, and trying to get the other foot underneath you. Once you get the other foot underneath you, you're okay. You can push up from there. But it's getting both of those feet onto the floor that is the real challenge. Yeah. Lacan says she did it. It wasn't pretty. Hey, it's not pretty. And it won't ever look pretty. But you did it. Oh, okay. Dottie says she wished she had known this chair trick when her father fell out of bed. Yeah, because probably, Dottie, you had to help lift him up off the floor, right? Yeah. And if you had been able to get him to the bed or to the chair or something solid that he could get his elbows up onto, you would have had a lot less work to do. You would have had to guide his legs up, but that's about it. And then he would have been able to push himself upright. It's so important to practice this type of movement now before you get to the point where you can't get off the floor. That's why yoga is such a fantastic stretching and muscle building exercise, because as we age, we're going to run into these issues where we can't get up off the floor one day. I was only 57 when that happened. Yeah, I guess I was 57 when it happened to me, when I discovered that I was stuck in that position where I couldn't get up off the floor. I couldn't imagine, if I hadn't have done yoga, where I would be now, how hard falling down and trying to get back up again it would have been for me. You know, we all make the joke about the lady in that commercial, I've fallen and I can't get up. You know, we don't want to be that lady. We don't want to be that person. We want to be able to take care of our bodies. We want to stay in our homes as long as we can and not end up in a nursing home because we can't get out of bed, because we can't get up off the chair, because we can't stand if we fall down. Okay, Wynn has a question. When we're in the twist, you couldn't relax your hips. Okay, you're talking about, I'm assuming you're talking about before we went into Shavasana, where we just did the knee, relax the knees over to one side. Okay, so she couldn't relax her hips. I'm assuming that means that your hips didn't just relax over to the side. They were forcing you to try to come back upright again. I hope that's correct. This is because you have a lot of tightness in the muscles around and surrounding the hip joint, and that you just have to work on. So I'm going to come back up in the chair. If we're talking about being on our toes and dropping our knees over to the side, for me, I can do it because I've got a lot of flexibility now in the hip joint. But for some of you, you might feel by pushing like this, you're feeling tension and stretching here. You should feel that if you're very tight. And that's what we're working against. That's what we're actually working on, is to get this to happen, this stretching here to happen. This particular stretch involves what's called an internal rotation of the hip joint. And basically we're looking at this. When you're on your side both toes, you're really going to feel it here because you're pulling your knee in toward the center of the body, or, you're really not grabbing your knee, you're grabbing here, but your knee is coming in toward the center of your body, and the tendons and the muscles that are here are having to allow that to happen. If you are tight in this joint, it's going to not feel comfortable. You're going to feel the tension there. And even though, you probably feel it a little differently when you're laying on the floor, in the chair, you're getting a much better workout here onto stretching out this part of your hip joint. And the same thing on the other side, of course, is that if you're pushing your knees over toward this way and you're sitting upright, you're going to feel the stretch in here, in this side of your joint. So the hip is a really complex joint that has a lot of muscles, a lot of tendons. And the reason why it's very complex is because it's designed to support your leg in no matter what direction that you have shifted it, because we have to run away from people who, or things that can eat us, right? When we were once upon a time living on the savannah. So we need to be able to move and maneuver quickly in order to be able to self-preservate. And this hip has been designed to be able to, with all of its structure, to be able to move in a lot of different directions very quickly. But when we don't do that, when we haven't been able to use that particular muscle frequently, it starts to, the fascia, and remember, it's all, fascia as well as everything else, starts to harden up and solidify around that joint. And we need to get it moving again, and it's not fun. It's not pleasant. It's not comfortable. But it's necessary. So my suggestion is that you do it more often. If you're feeling tight in your hips when you do that, then that means you really need to be doing that. And to do it for a few breaths, give yourself a break. Other side for a few breaths, give yourself a break. And whenever you think of it, in sitting in the chair having dinner, just do it. Get that stretch becoming part of your body's ability to move. I hope that helped. Okay, what time is it? Oh. Okay, I've got a couple more minutes and then I'm going to say goodbye. So any other questions? Good questions, by the way. I'm glad you're asking them because I don't want you to go home. You're not going home. You are home. I don't want you to sign off and have a worry or concern in your mind about something you're feeling. Okay, well, I think I'll say goodbye then. If nobody else has a question. If you do have any other questions that come up for you afterwards, email me. You can always email me. You can always message me through Facebook. And remember, if you are interested in taking part in our Zoom chat and get to know me better, get to know you better, and the other ladies that join you every week, sign up. Send me an email. Okay, I'll see you later. Bye for now.